EA has all these games. You think they're gonna put that much time and effort on trying to maintain this funky ass 14-year-old game? I know what I'm talking about, guys. So look through the video, you know, all the little talking points, and you'll see, you'll understand, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, what's good, people? This is gonna be a video about the mostly about TF2 PS3 and if it's active in 2021, and I'm gonna show you guys a little EA bug that you can easily get by just simply clicking retry every time it pops up on the screen. Now you see I'm trying to connect to EA Online. The error message is gonna pop up again, but it's not a big deal. It's no problem. You just keep clicking retry until you're loaded into the game, and you're gonna see that in a second. Now for the main topic, is TF2 PS3 still alive? Now look, I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you guys. The game is not alive, okay? Whatever that means. Now for some people it may be like the good old days, tens of thousands of people playing at a time, and I guess it just depends what gaming community you're a part of. For us, we had a few thousand playing up until 2018, and we had many people playing. We had many people buying the game from 2018 up until this point. We've had many new players buying the game. They come in, they check it out and all that stuff, but it's just not the same anymore. Now, prior to the server outage that we had in, I'd say it was September or August of 2018. Prior to that, I was all for welcoming people to come over to the TF2 PS3 community, because we had plenty players at the time. You know, we had plenty lobbies going on from early morning, as early as 10 a.m. working up until I'd say 3 a.m. after midnight. So basically you'd get lobbies around the clock when we were still keeping the community going before the outage. But up until this point, lobbies just aren't sustainable, especially after our last outage, which was in 2018, which lasted anywhere from like 8 to 9 months. Everything came back online May 1st, but the game hasn't been the same since then. So I'm not gonna sugarcoat things. I'm gonna just keep it 100 with anybody that's interested. I'm gonna keep it honest with anybody that's interested in buying the console version, specifically TF2 PS3. I can't speak on the Xbox version because I haven't played the Xbox version and put enough time on the Xbox version. So, but they're doing pretty well from what I've heard. They're doing pretty good. But this is only about the PS3 version. So for the people that do ask me about the Xbox version or the Discord, you have to go to the Discord, you go ask them, and you go check out their community when you get the chance. But yeah, servers are still up. It's still online. EA has not pulled the plug yet on TF2 PS3. But I'd be lying to you if I say it was the same kind of experience that you've seen, or for older players that you've witnessed, you know, in the 10s. We're in the 20s now. In the 20s, it just is not gonna happen. Okay, like I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. So
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
now, is it worth the money? Now, if you want to be a little collector or whatever and say you have a vintage copy of TF2 PS3, go for it. I mean, but I'm saying if you want to spend money on a version that's always been the inferior version, we just were able to squeeze out as much fun as we could for the previous 10 years. I'm speaking on 2008 to 2018. Even though it's the inferior version, we were able to get the most fun out of it, and it was still playable. At this point, it's playable, but not quality's just, I hear too many complaints about servers and all that stuff. You could organize games, but that'd be pretty hard to do. So I don't think it's worth the money at this point. Once we had the server outage, it immediately in my opinion, was not worth the money. It's not worth the hassle. It's not worth the hassle of buying a whole PS3, which can cost you anywhere from $50 to $200 still, and buying a whole copy of Orange Box, which in recent years the price has been hiked up because many people, there was a demand for it at a certain point. So you look online, and if you're lucky to find a copy at stores, as opposed to at least 20 or at least $10 to $20 physical copy. Last copy I bought was like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. It cost me $30. It was mint condition. I still have it. That's still the copy that I play on because I have 4 other copies that don't work. It's mint condition. It cost me $30. And if you I've heard of people buying it for cheap online, but it's very hard to come by because the prices have been hiked up. From what I've seen, I don't see any. I don't see a copy of TF2 PS3 Orange Box for no less than, I'd say, $25 to $30. I don't see it any less than that, honestly. For a 13, 14-year-old game, you're not gonna find it any less than that because it's almost like a classic. It is a classic, so it was sought after. So them prices, man, they went up crazy. Now for the server quality of TF2, I touched on it just a minute ago. Like I said, they're not what they used to be. After the outage, it just is not the same. We didn't I've never had the problem where I would go into a full lobby and I'd have to wait out the lag. I mean, I had that maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but that's actually a requirement if you want to actually go into a full lobby and enjoy the game. That's actually a requirement. You're gonna have to sit in a lobby and wait for a round to pass, or not a round, not a stage is what I was meant to say. You'd have to wait for a whole round to pass in order for you to have a stable connection to the server in order for you to play. So that's just not worth the hassle. There's not that many lobbies that you can find during the day on TF2 PS3. So that's another reason why it's not worth the money. Why are you going to spend your money on a game where at this point, even though there's many people that bought the game in past 3 years, the whole player base has diminished. It's been diminished ever since the outage. People popped in here and there because they heard, it's still around. But then once people come in and they see what's going on and the quality of the game, they realize, okay, this is not what I saw in the last video. What you saw in the last video, or what you saw 3 years ago on my channel, that's what was going on. But even I haven't even been able to play, so that should give you a sign right there. My experience on TF2 PS3 has always been pretty good up until 2018, before the outage. We were able to organize our first scrimmage in a long time since TF2 PS3's last ever scrimmage that you can probably recall, because many people were slowly leaving at that time when we had a clan community. So it was like the first clan scrimmage in a long time. But now most of those players don't play. We don't have time for it, and some of our guys went over to Xbox. So now we're left with just a new population of players, and they're not going to be able to get into the game and learn the game and have fun with the game with other people if this is what you're going to get. This is, I'm sorry to say, it's shit quality at this point. We've always had bad quality when it came to servers, but at this point, yeah, this is not doable. It's not sustainable, is what I want to say. It's not sustainable because we were able to, like, we've had bad lobbies since the game came out, but we were able to sustain, like at 2011 and after that, we were able to sustain games because we still had games with decent connection. People were still able to have, highly competitive public games, and we were able to have games around the clock during the day. almost 24/7. But you get the server shut down at 3 a.m. And nobody's playing, early morning unless it's summer vacation and
Mission begins in
high school and
30
college students are online. But or anybody younger, that's just not gonna happen anymore. Anybody on during that time, East Coast time, from 8 to 12, that's mostly your UK and anybody else overseas.
begins in 10 seconds.
So, and those lobbies, it's all East Coast servers, but
3,
depending on your connection and where you're at in the world and your time zone, you might not want to play those games. So servers are decent servers are more difficult to come by more than ever, because of the low player population and many other factors like overall skill level, of the people coming in or the people that still play. People think that's not a factor. That's a factor. That's why whoever I was trying to train up and whoever I was trying to get better, that's why they had a problem with me, because it's either you're gonna get good and enjoy the game and figure the game out, or you're not. Like, it's just that simple. Don't be mad at me, because things just ain't going your way. It just is what it is. And it could be people I used to harass in the inbox. Whether that be like people I would I'd start random feuds, like you wouldn't even know it. I'd start a feud with you. But of course it's just to get people going. People wonder, oh, what's wrong with this guy? No, I'm literally, I had a method to the madness. I'll probably explain that in another video, but I had a method to the madness. So you see what I was able to, help out with. So I'm not, I'll address it in another video. But what's stopping TF2 PS3 from growing? That's what's stopping TF2 PS3 from growing. The skill base, the overall skill base. Because look, it's very easy for me right now to go into a lobby. It's in the middle. It's 5:30, middle of the evening. It's very easy for me to go into a lobby. I'll do good for a moment, or maybe people recognize my name, and then it won't be long until like second or third stage, a good portion of people will rage quit. So I there's nothing you can do, unless like you're like average as fuck, and yeah, it's okay, fine. If you're average as fuck, like I'm rusty and I'm not, like, I'm still above average, so unless you're average as fuck, you're not gonna see the same thing that I see. Okay, so it's just mandatory that people know how to play the game and aren't confused. That's why I stressed it a lot in my community, because being efficient and whatever the fuck. But that's just not gonna happen anymore, because the game is dead anyways. So hey, when you say dead, what does that mean? You gotta think what makes a game dead. What we had going for the first 10 years of TF2 PS3, that's not dead, even though its prime was 08 to 2012, or I'd say 2011. Even though its prime was the first 3 years of TF2, 3 or 4 years, you have to understand there was tens of thousands of people that were still playing that game at the time. So numbers get reduced and you see the same names. It's probably like from 2012 up until 2018, that's probably a consistent anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 players that were committed. If we're having crazy numbers now, like 5 to 10, then I'd say 1 to 3. I said 1 to 5, but I'll take it back. That's 1 to 3,000 players that probably are committed to it. And we had a lot of viewership, so, and a lot of veterans that used to pop in here and there, and it was like, from the clan days. And so I would call this current era right here dead. I'm sorry to say. That's quite a fair assessment to make from me, especially because I've been on here pretty much every year the game has been out. So Now, will you buy a PC eventually? Most likely, yeah, because even when we were still doing pretty well, I've had people tell me like, hey, I've already moved on to PC version, so you know, and I'd have viewers like, oh yeah, thanks for keeping the games up, and I moved on to PC a while back, and yada yada yada. Eventually, yes, you're going to buy a PC eventually, and if you really like TF2, you're probably going to play that more. There's nothing wrong with playing both. I've had the PC version since 2008. There's nothing wrong with having the PC version, but what I found out, the reason why people buy for the console version, whether it be the Xbox or PS3, is because maybe, now this is maybe, it's probably just kids asking their parents for a copy, or they figured out they can't get or afford the PC version, so they probably asked their parents for an old Xbox or an old PS3 and order a copy of TF2 orange box. Yeah, so it's not standalone. It's standalone on the Xbox, but they order themselves an old Xbox, old console, old orange box copy, and then they're set to go. You know, we've had a lot of new names. Like, you just see all kinds of names here and there. I can find a new name every day, and the list that Phaserman has compiled from since 2019, since the servers came back up, that's 3 years, right? No, 2020, 2021. It's 2 years. He was able to compile 10,000 names. So most of that has to be from the viewership and, you know, word of mouth and whatever. And I don't know, but it's just you're not gonna meet those numbers again. I'm just, you know, the game is not gonna meet those numbers again. It's just not gonna happen. So I'll still make gameplays here and there, guys. I still play it. I pop in here and there. You saw the last gameplay, you know, with my little shitty aim. But I pop in here and there. So you know what? Because I'm old, guys. I'm older now, so I'm an adult. I'm a full-grown man. So you're not gonna see the same stuff that I did before. It just is what it is. I don't have time to be playing games like that, you know, trying to be a pro. Like, I am a pro, but, like, you know, I don't have time to be, like, all focused on a video game. But of course I want to give you guys content, and, you know, I enjoy doing this YouTube thing. It's fun. That's why, you know, I like interacting with you guys, playing with you guys in the lobbies and doing all that stuff, and getting the word out. It was fun on my free time to do that. But you'll always see gameplays from me, and yeah, man, that's all I wanted to address. Is it worth the money? You know, how active is it? I'm gonna say that it is officially dead. The servers, look, the servers have been on a steady decline, but it hit a sharp decline when we had the biggest outage that lasted 9 months. The game would never be the same since then. EA has all these games. You think they're gonna put that much time and effort on trying to maintain this funky ass 14-year-old game? I know what I'm talking about, guys. So look through the video, you know, all the little talking points, and you'll see, you'll understand, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. But anyways, that's my official take on it. That's my advice. Okay, check out the Xbox community. I haven't spoken much on the Xbox community because I don't even have an Xbox myself, so it doesn't make sense for me to say this, that, and the third, or for me to even say they're not active like PS3, and they're probably pretty much active. You see what I'm saying? So guys, I don't know, there's not many. I mean, they have people that make videos and get the word out over there. They're growing pretty good too. They have 700 members on their Discord, I think, last time I checked, and they have they have a good amount of veterans from what I heard, from veterans from release date. So that's veterans from 14 years ago. So, but I don't know, just I haven't seen many YouTubers. See, I do my stuff through YouTube, and people told me to make a Twitter. There's a Twitter and a Reddit, but I remember somebody told me to make a Reddit and a Twitter and an Instagram for TF2 PS3 a long time ago, but it's like my whole thing was, the game's not gonna last. That's why I didn't put that much effort into it. You see what I'm saying? I didn't put that much effort into it because, like, we were able to squeeze out a good 8 more years on this game, but come on, guys, it was inevitable. That's something I can admit. It was inevitable. Like, if we hit another outage, the game was going to be done, and it lasted for 9 freaking months. First ever outage was 4 months, I think, from what I heard. 3 or 4 months, anywhere from 2 to 4, actually. I don't remember, but that was back in like 2013.
Mission begins in
yeah.
30 seconds.
What was I saying? Yeah, it was inevitable. It just is what it is. But for the people that still have the copy, of course, come play the game if you can find an enjoyable game. It's gonna be hard to do because there's hackers, and us older guys don't maintain cheat-free lobbies anymore. So I mean, hey, it's on you. I mean, I wish some of you guys had it in you that know how to mod to actually make cheat-free games instead of trying to troll people with crits and team killing. But hey, it is what it is. I'm probably just gonna let it happen because that's what's supposed to happen. I'm not. We went this long because I made it that way. I helped make it that way. Guys like me, guys like Original Rocker, honestly, yeah, guys like Rec. Who else? Frozen State, PBY Boomer. Those are the people I can name off the top that I've seen since the beginning. Especially since 2011, 2012. So yeah, and big thanks to many of the people that came and gone since the start of the Discord server, which I think was in 2017. I don't remember, but big thanks to you guys. The game was strong as hell. So, and a lot of people didn't like that. It was like, even PC guys were telling me like, "Oh, come to the PC version." I don't want to come to the PC version. I have the PC version, and I don't want to go. But I got a decent laptop, so I might play it a little more. I haven't touched it in a month either, so there you go, guys. But anyway, that's my take on it. That's my advice. That's my perspective. But most of it is also the facts too, guys. But anyways, I'll see y'all in the next gameplay. Peace out.